Okay, we're back in our studio now. It's now 1:48 Eastern here in Washington, D.C. at US Vets TV for the 6th holiday edition Veteran Entrepreneurship Training Series video. And with us in the studio right now, very interesting guest, Rod Rodriguez. Thanks for joining us, Rod. Rod is the voice behind the AAR podcast, which stands for After Action Review. We actually have a program on the channel. We talked about this called After Action Report, but he's got something called After Action Review. Tell us what it's all about, and tell us about your past military work.
Sure. So the After Action Review podcast is all about veteran entrepreneurship. The goal is to provide veteran entrepreneurs, veterans who are interested in business, who want to start their own business, an opportunity to learn from people who've been there, that have done that. So we talk about what went right, what went wrong, and everything in between. My own background, I'm a former warrant officer, CW2, 351 Mike, Human Intelligence Collection Tech.
Excellent. So what is some of the subject matter that you've done like, what, 30 or 35 presentation, and you call them podcasts. What kind of areas are you addressing in subject matter?
It's really all about the story of the entrepreneur. There's a lot of different programs out there that will tell you how to start a business and how to maintain it and, the real technical aspects of running a small business. We focus on the human aspect. We talk about where this person came from, where they're going, how they started, some of the pitfalls that they experienced, and some of the successes that they also experienced. And I think these are all part of the story of a company, the story of the entrepreneur.
And I should point out that you actually interview the entrepreneurs themselves. That's
yes,
how you get these perspectives. So what have you found as far as a theme that runs through all these guys that you interview?
That's funny. That's the number one question is what is the commonality between all these successful entrepreneurs? It is patience and passion. Patience and passion will drive the success of your business. If you have the patience to weather the not so good times, and you have the passion to not only start, but the passion to work those extra hours to really drive, success will come.
Now, do you ever get into the personal side of being an entrepreneur and the effect it has on the family relationships and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people have this. Right now, entrepreneurship is the cool thing. A lot of people are being exposed to entrepreneurs who are touting millions of dollars and fancy cars and all this stuff on YouTube and Instagram. Veteran entrepreneurs are a lot more disciplined. For the most part, they're a lot more low key than that. But entrepreneurship is the cool thing to do. But what a lot of people don't realize is the amount of hours it takes to be successful as an entrepreneur. You don't just go out and quit your day job. You're working that 9 to 5, and really your business, your side business, or the thing you want to make into your main thing, that starts about 7 o'clock and will run you to 2 in the morning. And you got to wake up and do this all over again. Here we go with maintaining your thing and exploring your business field. And you still have to balance your 9 to 5. You still have to balance your life with your family, your own personal hobbies. Sacrifice, when we talk about what it takes to be successful, what is the sacrifice? The sacrifice is you may not be able to make Billy's ball game. You may not be able to go play golf like you used to. This may mean you're in front of another computer screen. You did 9 to 5 in front of a desk, at a desk in front of a computer, and now you're doing it again. But it's for your business. So that's where the ultimate sacrifices lie.
Al, do you have any questions for Rod?
Yes, absolutely. Rod, first of all, it's good to see you on the screen. As a former warrant officer, we had a chance to talk extensively, and you talked about patience and passion, which we have as veterans for the hurry up and wait that we experienced in the years of service we all enjoyed. But, I want to say this much is giving an opportunity for a veteran to come see you and you learning from them. You've made some remarkable remarks when we spoke, and I want to thank you for that, because it's the passion we get from each other and the exposure. As Dan Marino were talking about the round table, is let the seasoned guy talk, let the guy that's listening understand. But based on some of your conversations on your podcast, give us a quick story about someone that's literally hearing you but not listening. And what I mean by that, they don't take guidance or direction lightly, so they get out there with a bit of stubbornness and spend more money than they need to. Have you experienced anybody like that in your podcast?
I think that's a growing pain, and that's something that every entrepreneur is going to experience. You start your business, if you're starting a business, it's because you honestly believe you have something to contribute. You're an expert in that. Nobody starts a business in something they know nothing about and they have no confidence in. Everybody goes in there and tries to do something, well, everyone's like, that's not a good idea. I just finished talking to Dan Alarak, CEO of Grunt Style, one of the biggest veteran-owned clothing companies. And he talked about one of his biggest blunders was purchasing a billboard outside of Fort, oh boy, now I can't remember, outside of...
in Texas?
No, it was home of the infantry. See, this is the MI guy trying to talk about the infantry, and I can't remember the home of the infantry. Either way, he buys a billboard, and it's not going to work out because he's thinking old school. He's thinking billboards instead of social media, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, which is the new billboard, honestly. And, you know...
Especially for clothing.
Especially for clothing, especially for anything nowadays. I mean, a billboard, I can tell you, is crazy. But people warned him. He still did it. And it almost cost him the company. I mean, it was something that was detrimental right off the bat, almost sunk him. But again, we talked about passion and patience. He was able to have the passion to drive through, the patience to let the storm pass, and now look where he's at. I mean, he's out there, you know, changing the landscape of veteran business, not just for the clothing industry, but for every veteran who's about to step up and jump into the limelight themselves and try to be an entrepreneur.
Excellent. So for people out there who want to go listen to your podcast, give us the website address. Make sure I have it right. Go ahead.
Sure. So the website is www.theaarpodcast.com. You can follow me on Instagram at the AAR Podcast, Facebook.com/theaarpodcast. And if you haven't downloaded the Anchor FM app, you really should. There's a daily blog cast where we talk about veteran business accomplishments and the daily blog.
Excellent. That's again the www.theaarpodcast.com. AAR stands for After Action Review. We've been talking to the host, Rod Rodriguez. Rod,
thanks a lot.
Thank you so much for joining us. And now we're going to go to another sponsor, HCI Integrated Solutions.
HCI Integrated Solutions, a premier service-disabled, veteran-owned small business, experienced supporting numerous agencies in the federal government since 1995. With extensive qualifications in total lifecycle logistics systems, operations and maintenance, information technology, administrative and training support services, HCI is a trusted global leader in technology solutions and professional services to those who serve our country. Driven by excellence of service and strengthened by partnerships, HCI Integrated Solutions.